Enjoy the convenience of 7 days a week banking and extended hours with Cube from First Arkansas Bank and Trust. Member FDIC. It's time for From the Short Grass with Trey Schaap, a golf podcast for those who love golf, struggle with golf, and just like to enjoy the outdoors and fellowship with friends, all while chasing a ball around trying to put it in a 4 1/4 inch diameter hole. From the Short Grass is brought to you by Blackman Auctions. For over 80 years, better auctions have always been Blackman Auctions. By MinnowsPlus.com. From baits to waders, if it helps you catch a fish, they have it. And now, from the Short Grass, here is your host, Trey Schaap.
Welcome to another edition of From the Short Grass. I am your host, Trey Schaap. The Cup is staying in the States. Team USA dominated the Ryder Cup, captained by Steve Stricker at Whistling Straits in Wisconsin. Some have called it the slaughter at the Straits, waxing in Wisconsin, the carnage at Kohler. Whatever you want to call it, when you get beat 19-9 in the Ryder Cup, you just call it a plain butt kicking. This might be one of the strongest teams the United States has assembled in quite some time, and the young guns will be around for a while. Arkansas men's golf coach Brad McMakin is my guest today. His Hogs won the 2019 SEC Championship and finished runner-up in the 2021 Championship. His team also finished runner-up in the 2009 NCAA Championships. He produces professional golfers on a regular basis, and he will join us after the break. Do you need to update your line of outerwear for the upcoming hunting season? Minnows Plus carries the full line of Frog Togs outerwear, and you can shop online by going to minnowsplus.com. We are back after the break with Arkansas men's golf coach Brad McMakin.
Minnows Plus is your local source for live bait and live well supplies. They carry the entire line of SureLife products, everything from Better Bait and Finer Shiner to no ammonia products to keep your bait and your catch thriving till you get back to the dock. They are the best source for all your private land ponds. Minnows Plus has fish food and pond fertilizer to keep your pond healthy and thriving all year long. If you own or run a bait and tackle shop and need to resupply, contact Minnows Plus and ask about their wholesale prices. Open to the public and walk-ins are welcome. Find them on the web at minnowsplus.com.
This is Thomas Blackman of Blackman Auctions. Trey asked me to sponsor a show for another few months. Even though I don't like golf, I do like a show. I have no idea how he gets the awesome variety of guests on his show, but it is entertaining and informative even for a horrible golfer like myself. I'm learning a lot about the game and about the passion for playing. So much so, I've started using my country club for more than Sunday brunch. Trey makes golf interesting. I make auctions interesting. For auctions, listen to me. For golf, listen to Trey. Since 1938, better auctions are Blackman Auctions.
On the tee, the head coach of the Arkansas Razorback men's golf team, Brad McMakin. Coach, thanks for joining us. Appreciate you taking some time out of your day. Wow, what a beautiful facility you have here at the Blessings Golf Club. What was the vision that Mr. Tyson had for this club?
The vision of the golf course was to have the best golf course, the most difficult golf course to challenge our student athletes on a daily basis, to help them get better. And then the facilities were built. Peter Costas actually designed the facilities, our driving range and our short game facilities, to provide them with a tour-like setup on a daily basis. So, we built this indoor facility, obviously, due to January and February, that the fact that we don't miss a day of practice now. We have an indoor short game facility, we have a weight room, and then we have 6 hitting bays that whether it be rain in September or hot in July and August, and when the kids come back to school, and during the winter, we can practice 365 days a year.
It's pretty awesome to have that. When you bring a recruit in and you bring them out here, it kind of sells itself, does it not?
It does. I've got a story about we recruited Nicholas Echevarri. He was the top 5 junior player in the country about 8 years ago. He visited multiple schools. He came in on a Saturday. We got on the second hole, and he goes, "You guys shut the golf course down." We were looking at him like, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "Well, where are all the people?" And he said, I said, "This is a normal day." He said, "Sign me up." Just the fact that We have our own private golf course that with limited members and membership, and we can play on the weekends, no tee times, and so it is definitely a big selling point. So that was one of the stories that I remember, that he thought we shut the golf course down on a Saturday to bring him in, and he committed literally on the spot.
That's pretty good. You've hosted some regionals, NCAA championship up here, and the Blessings Collegiate last year was born because of COVID. You brought all the SEC schools in. Arkansas won it, and you're going to have it again here in a couple of weeks. How special is it to have a tournament of that caliber on your home course?
Oh, it's incredible. Mr. Tyson's vision to host one of the best tournaments in the country and put it on the Golf Channel, to where we get to showcase our facility on the Golf Channel for 3 days, is a definite. It's big for recruiting. It's big for Northwest Arkansas. Now we don't play, very many home matches here. We can get, the membership and people around the area to come see our golf teams, which is incredible. There's no entry fee. We want everybody to come out and support the tournament. And just his vision has been very helpful to our program. And this tournament, to be on the Golf Channel for 3 days in early October has just been very valuable.
This athletic department, this program, under the leadership of Hunter Yurachek, it seems like from an outsider looking in that it's come together a lot more. You see some carryover with coaches that are involved in other sports. I think of Coach Musselman in basketball, what he's doing. I think of Coach Dave Van Horn, what he's been doing down at baseball. And now Sam Pittman seems like he's got this football team really, really rolling. And I know you had some big-time recruits in for that Texas game a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. It's a different atmosphere. I mean, Hunter has changed the culture here, not only with the coaches, with the student athletes. I know that a couple of guys have seen him in classes, and he's stopped by to talk to the kids in class. But he's definitely created a family atmosphere. The coaching staff is closer. With all the success that's been going on with our teams, every program is stepping up. You want to walk around campus and you want to be ranked. You definitely want to keep up with the Joneses and as far as your team being competitive. And Hunter has high expectations for each of our programs, and it's nice to know that he cares about each and every sport.
Not only the coaches wanting to do that, but the players as well. When they see the basketball team make an Elite Eight, the baseball team win an SEC championship. You guys won an SEC championship a couple of years ago before COVID hit, and then you runner-up last year. Everybody wants to be on a winning team, don't they?
There's no doubt about it. Our guys say that they can feel it walking around campus. And, when you have the expectations for every one of your sports programs to be successful, the kids can feel it. And just the atmosphere around here that Hunter's created has been exceptional.
I want to take you to Grant Morgan, linebacker on the football team. I sat down with him before the season. He loves to play golf. I said, do you think you'd ever be able to play on the golf team, or maybe Coach McMakin would bring you out to the Blessings and let you play around out there? What do you think about a linebacker playing golf?
Well, it's incredible because Julian Perico, one of our best players on our team, plays with Grant and a couple other football players. In fact, he'll call me, hey, Coach, can I be a little late to practice? I got to go out and take some of the football guys out, and we go play different golf courses. And, Isaiah Joe was a very good golfer, and he came out to the NCAA championship. But Julian has kind of created that atmosphere with his friendships with all the other athletes, and he really enjoys it. But he plays with Hunter kids, Hunter's sons, quite a bit, and they bring some guys out. And it's nice to see that some other athletes are involved, but Julian's created that atmosphere for us.
That's pretty neat to have when you can have that crossover between the different sports, because sometimes, hey, an athlete's focused on his sport and his sport only, but the fact that you do have friendships and you allow them to do that, I think it builds that team chemistry, does it not?
No doubt about it. Not only the team chemistry, but the chemistry in the whole athletic department. Julian was getting ready for the U.S. Amateur, and he played golf 2 rounds with Grant Morgan and a couple of his buddies, and I was thinking, you ought to do a little bit better prep, but that was his prep, and he enjoys it, and it's really helped our team, with the kids. You got the football and basketball team and baseball team who are, the number one sports on, that are revenue sports, but when our golfers can actually get to know them and go out and play golf with them. And it's been quite an adventure.
Your team this year, pretty loaded team.
We do. We have a good team returning. We lost a lot of starters last year, and instead of rebuilding, we've kind of reloaded. Obviously getting Mateo Fernandez transferring and Luke Long have been beneficial. But, we've developed good depth over the years to be able to have 8 or 9 guys that can play. And so when these guys graduate, we're able to fill in and not lose any ground. And I think this probably could be one of our best teams that we've had.
The Carmel Cup is played at Pebble Beach Golf Links out there in California, and you guys finished 3rd this year. Are you pleased with how you played out there? That's a stacked field.
I was very pleased. You play against the top SEC teams in Big 12, Oklahoma State and Oklahoma and Georgia and Vanderbilt. I was very happy. We played an incredible round. The last round, shot 17 under. But, we only lost by 5 shots. And when you play 3 rounds, 5 counting scores, I mean, that's very minor, a very small margin. And I thought we competed well and was really happy with all 6 of our players that played. And it showed me that we have a chance this year to be really special.
Give me a little insight into the Blessings Collegiate. You guys hosting it, and who are some of the other teams you have coming in, and how do you think your team fits into those others?
We've got a good field. We're able to get a couple teams from different conferences. We've got the number 1 team in the country right now, North Carolina, who just won Olympia Fields. They've got a great program and get a chance to play against the number 1 team on our home golf course. So we're definitely fired up and looking forward to that. But we've got UCLA and Arizona coming from the Pac-12. Illinois, who's had a really, really good program over the last 8 years run, and from the Big Ten, and a couple good SEC teams, Tennessee and Ole Miss coming in. So we've got a great field, and it's a big week for us. We want to host our own tournament. We want to come out with. We want to be able to win the championship, and definitely help our rankings if we can knock off North Carolina.
And then the other thing, too, is this fall season, you're going to play back-to-back tournaments inside the borders of the state of Arkansas, with Mr. Warren Stevens inviting you down to the Jackson T. Stevens Cup at the Alotian Club in mid-October.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to that. That's a new event this year that's going to happen in late October. He wants to do a great college tournament down at the Alotian Club, and then it goes to Seminole the following year, and then Trinity Forest the following year. So we've got a chance to showcase our golf team within the state, which we don't do very often. So, it's important for our guys to play well and, like the other programs in the state, and have a great week.
If I don't ask you about Little John Daly, your freshman, I would probably not get off of the Blessings property with both of my legs. But it's kind of cool to see Big John, a 2-time major winner, interacting with the program the other day. He also went down and made some buckets inside the practice gym with Coach Muss and the basketball team. What's it like having Little John here, but also Big John so much a part of Razorback golf?
Well, I think it's huge. I think it's very important. And Little John was the top 10 junior in the country, so he was a big-time recruit. So it was great to get him. But, I talked to Coach Muss last night, and I think we're fighting for a spot for Big John on the basketball team and him to on the golf team. But obviously he's got some athletic ability. But Little John's been great. He's a top-ranked junior. He's a diehard Razorback, as Big John is. He's probably the biggest Razorback fan you can find. Mm-hmm. And he's the number 1 draw on the senior tour. He's a 2-time major champion. I think he's won 5 PGA Tour events. To have him involved in our program with his son is going to be very beneficial for us in the future. He came out and visited with the team yesterday and talked about the PGA Tour. The guys love seeing him, but Little John's going to be a force to be reckoned with on our golf program.
Pro Hogs. We see that hashtag if you're on Twitter, and the men's golf team is no stranger to Pro Hogs. I think of David Lingmuth. I think of Sebastian Kaplan. I think of Austin Cook, Taylor Moore. The list goes on and on. What is it about you bringing guys in here and preparing them for the next level, and that is to become a professional golfer and obviously make it to the PGA Tour?
Right. They come in. They all have the hopes and dreams of playing the PGA Tour. They, since they were 10 years old. And with the facility that we have with the golf course, I was talking to a lot of them, throughout their PGA Tour career. They said the Blessings was the biggest step in preparing them They said the PGA Tour is way easier than what they faced every day for 4 years. So I think that had a lot to do with it in their development of their game. We've got Andrew Landry, who's won twice. Austin David won the Memorial. And we got Alvaro Ortiz coming out of the Latin American Tour, gotten his corner, and Taylor Moore now advancing. So we've actually been producing a lot of guys that advance to the next level, and I think it goes a lot to say for the Blessings Golf Club.
Staying within the program, what does Barrett Lay mean to you as an assistant coach?
Barrett's been incredible. He's very dedicated to our program. He's stayed with me for 10 years. He's obviously had some opportunities to go elsewhere. But he played for me back when I first got the job, and another diehard Razorback. When you get those guys that are diehard Razorbacks, it's hard to get rid of them.
I was going to say, yeah.
So, but I've been very fortunate. He's worked with Austin Cook and Taylor Moore and helped me with David Lingmerth and Landry throughout the years, and very vital part of our program, and hopefully I can keep around for a lot longer. Let's
talk about your game for a second. You like to play the game as well. When do you get to play?
My time is during the summer. I've got one big tournament every year, the Tyson Invitational. Mr. Tyson's my partner, and I better be in tip-top shape.
I was going to say, do y'all win?
We finished third this year in our flight, so we had a good week this year. And but Mr. Tyson has expectations for me, and so the month before is a big prep for me, and I take it very seriously and enjoy the fellowship with Mr. Tyson. We've played together for probably 13, 14 years in this event, and it's been very special for both of us.
We had you on from the Shortgrass, our very first episode. You were getting ready to go to the NCAA championships. We had to do it via Zoom, so it's good to actually be here in person and we can talk back and forth. And after that, you told me that you had made 21 holes in one before. Has that number gone up?
No, not since then. So,
okay.
There's a lot of luck involved in that. You play, we got a Segundo Pinto who won the SEC championship. He's never made one.
But you've made 21, Coach.
Yeah, I've been pretty lucky, I guess. But it's not as good as the claim to fame as Coach Broyles took me to Augusta.
I was going to ask you about that. The fact that Coach Broyles, your first athletic director you worked for, he was a member of Augusta National, and you got to take the golf coach to Augusta.
He did, and it was a great experience, and I was fortunate to make a double eagle on number 15 there, and I think there's only been two made, Gene Saracen and myself. So I should have retired then. I should have put my clubs up. And that was my last shot. But what a great memory that I had with Coach Broyles to be able to share that with him.
They have the Saracen Bridge there. Do they have anything commemorating McMakin's
unfortunately not. They did send me a glass case with Coach Broyles and I with the ball holding up
that's cool.
two in our hands. So I've got that in my house. So it's a pretty special memorabilia that I have from that. But unfortunately, the McMakin symbol is not discussed at Augusta.
What was it about Augusta is it just everything that everybody sees on television for those who haven't had the opportunity to go there?
It's just a tradition, walking down the fairways, all the great players that have ever walked down and all the memorable shots that you can think of when you're walking down the fairway that these great players have hit. And, it was my first time and last time there. And it was truly a special 3 days I got to spend and stay in, on site with Coach Broyles. We actually watched the national championship game. LSU played, and he was calling the plays. He was telling them exactly what was going to happen.
That's got to be cool.
I got to play Augusta National, make a double eagle, and spend time with, Coach Broyles watching a national championship game that I'll never forget.
I want to go back to Hunter Yurachek. What does he mean to Brad McMakin and this golf program?
Well, I can tell you this. There's not one person in the country I'd rather work for. We get some calls every now and then about, maybe getting to some other places to go to school. But I told Hunter last year that as long as Hunter's here, he doesn't have to worry about ever looking for another golf coach. He just brings enthusiasm, and what has been great is he cares about our student athletes. He cares about, these kids. He came to the SEC championship last year. He came to regionals, and, just showing their support. It from a golf coach's standpoint who's, we're not one of the big sports here. And to have the athletic director with these kids means the world to me as a coach and to the players.
You and Shauna have a great working relationship and a great friendship away from here as well. What is it like to see her program succeed, and what type of feedback does she give you that helps you prepare your guys and your program to succeed?
Absolutely. I've worked with Shauna for 15 years, and We text each other before every round of every tournament, wishing each other good luck. We have a special relationship. And, I've learned a lot from Shauna. We kind of have a little bit of opposite ways to do things. So I've picked up a lot of the ways that she runs her program, and she's helped me a lot as a coach, and I've learned a lot from her. But, with the success that we both had, her winning the SEC championship the year before I did, it's motivation for me and my team to, they're ranked number 1 in the country right now, and we're ranked number 14. So definitely recruiting helps too. We've actually had some success in Latin America. She always kind of gets the top player on the women's side. They know our players that we have. We've brought some top players from Latin America in. When you work with someone on a daily basis, to have a good relationship, I think it means a lot. And Shauna just means the world to me. And we help each other. And I just every round I'm more into the women's golf side when they're playing as I am our team. And she's a special person.
I was going to say, I hate to bring it up, but in 19, when they were competing here at the Blessings, your team unfortunately fell just a little bit short of getting here. But to be here to watch Maria and her team do what they did, but Maria to win the national championship, that had to feel special for you as well.
Absolutely. I followed them from the first tee they teed off to the end, and just their team had a great run. They made the 8, got to the match play, which was a successful year. I think they finished 5th. So, but just being around them and getting to see their success and watching Maria, I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen any kind of golf like Maria Fossey played, that week, and she's the best college player in the country, but I was super excited for Shauna to have a girl win the national championship on their home golf course. It was a special week.
You get to play a lot of courses. You get to go see a lot of courses. What's the best golf course you've ever played?
Well, that's kind of a trick question, I guess. I mean, now
how is it a trick question?
Well, I'm pretty partial to where I'm at.
Okay.
I used to take a lot of golf trips with my friends, but since I've been here at the Blessings, I really don't have a lot of motivation to go play anywhere else. This course will challenge you from the first hole to the 18th hole, and it can embarrass you. And when you're a elite player, you always want to play the hardest and the most challenging golf course. Well, I have it in my backyard.
I was going to say, it's pretty challenging.
But Pebble Beach is pretty special just with the scenery and everything. It's one of my favorites, but I'm partial to the Blessings.
The redesign. Did Mr. Tyson get any input from you on it?
He always what's special about what he does for our team is he's evolved with college golf. College golf is getting better. Pro golf is getting better. The players are getting better. So when he did the redo, obviously I didn't have any input, but we were trying to make the changes to make our players better. So we have more 500-yard par 4s than we had because that's where golf is going. And so he did make those changes to benefit both Sean and I's program. And so I don't think I had any input, but I think our team playing and him seeing where we play and what type, I think that had a lot of input in where we headed and what the direction he headed.
This year will be a success if Arkansas golf does what?
Gets to the finals again in the SEC and makes the 8 at the NCAA championship with a chance to win. Absolutely. We have that kind of that team this year. It obviously getting off to a good start that we did. I was really pleased with what I saw. So those are always our goals, but expectations-wise, that's what I expect.
Coach, I'm looking forward to following your team.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you having me, Trey.
We'll be back, but first I want to tell you about Blackman Auctions. BlackmanAuctions.com. They have the Arkansas Department of Transportation Truck and Equipment Auction coming up November 3rd and 4th. It's going to start at 8 o'clock both days, 425 Blackman Road in Lone Oak. For more information, go to BlackmanAuctions.com. Blackman Auctions since 1938. Better auctions have always been Blackman Auctions. We're back after this.
Minnows Plus is your local source for live bait and live well supplies. They carry the entire line of SureLife products, everything from better bait and finer shiner to no ammonia products to keep your bait and your catch thriving till you get back to the dock. They are the best source for all your private land ponds. Minnows Plus has fish food and pond fertilizer to keep your pond healthy and thriving all year long. If you own or run a bait and tackle shop and need to resupply, contact Minnows Plus and ask about their wholesale prices. Open to the public and walk-ins are welcome. Find them on the web at minnowsplus.com.
This is Thomas Blackman of Blackman Auctions. Trey asked me to sponsor his show for another few months. Even though I don't like golf, I do like his show. I have no idea how he gets the awesome variety of guests on his show, but it is entertaining and informative even for a horrible golfer like myself. I'm learning a lot about the game and about the passion for playing. So much so, I've started using my country club for more than Sunday brunch. Trey makes golf interesting. I make auctions interesting. For auctions, listen to me. For golf, listen to Trey. Since 1938, better auctions are Blackman Auctions.
On the Tee, it's our weekly rules segment with PGA Master Professional Adam Carney. Adam, Ian Poulter said a couple of weeks ago to his caddy during a tournament, call the referee, we're effed against the concrete. It was the 15th fairway, Liberty National. He was right of the fairway, and I think the Hudson is even further right than that, and he found his ball resting up against the concrete sewer. He was in a penalty area, so what is the ruling there?
Yeah, I mean, that one's pretty simple. It's been around for a long time. It's not part of the new changes, but, we have two kinds of obstructions. We have movable and immovable obstructions, and, an immovable obstruction is going to be a concrete sewer. There's no way to move that. So when your ball is in a penalty area and you are interfering, or your swing or stance or lie of the golf ball is interfered with by a movable obstruction, tough luck starts somewhere. You've hit it into a penalty area, and you're going to have those kinds of things. So there is no relief under those circumstances. It is interesting to note, though, a movable obstruction can be moved anywhere. So had his ball come to rest against a beer can, he could have moved that beer can, even though both the beer can and his ball were in the penalty area. And if it caused his ball to move, he would have been able to replace it. But simple ruling on that one. He was right. He was effed. No question about that. His simple choices are to play balls at lies if he thinks he can get it out of there, or follow the rules for, dropping from the penalty area.
The other thing that he was concerned with, or kind of upset with, is where the line was to define the margin of that penalty area, because it was dry in there where he was.
Right. And so, a penalty area, obviously we used to call them water hazards, and we used to get that complaint a lot. And from on every level, at the club level all the way up to the tour level, why is this marked as a quote-unquote, what was called a water hazard? There's no water here. And the definition of a water hazard back in the day, it stated clearly whether there's water in it or not. It is deemed to be a water hazard or lateral water hazard. A penalty area holds the same definition. So under those circumstances, we hear that a lot. Hey, the line should be down there because, the committee has to draw the line someplace, right? And so you have to take a lot of things into consideration as a committee when you're marking a golf course. One of which is, okay, if the penalty area, we're going to move it down there, and he's going to take relief in 2 club lengths. His 2 club lengths don't put him in a position where he can realistically play a decent shot. And that's typically why a lot of times you'll see a red line, which is going to be a lateral. It's going to be at the crest of a hill, and the water may not start for another 15 or 20 feet. But if we put the line right down there, we run into 2 situations. One, the place where the player is going to have to drop under that rule is going to be on a hillside, and we want to give the player the advantage of being able to drop the ball in a position where he can at least have a level lie. And the other is, what if you get a ton of rain and that pond rises and it rises above that red line, and now you're absent a margin? So, hey, players are always going to blame the committee. I mean, it's either the caddy, the club, or the committee, right? It's the 3 C's that they never hit a bad shot.
C's.
Under those circumstances, it's not out of character for any player to complain about the way the golf course was set up or where a penalty area was marked. But it is what it is. You have to start somewhere. and it's the same for everybody.
But if you remember back to that tournament, a hurricane came through. They had to postpone the finish of that tournament.
Correct.
And so, yeah, that margin of the hazard might not even have been enough after all the rain that they got.
That's entirely possible. It may have even been a consideration at the point in time when the committee was marketing the golf course.
He is Adam Carney. I am Trey Schaap. If you've got a question about the rules of golf, email us from theshortgrass@gmail.com.
You've been listening to From the Short Grass, a weekly podcast dedicated to the game of golf. From the Short Grass is brought to you by MinnowsPlus.com and Blackman Auctions. This has been a presentation of the Buzz Radio Network.